Hi guys, welcome back. And in this video, I want to talk about more disclosures that came through in regards to New Agers and just in general, how, even people who kind of know still don't really know or just only have like half of the truth. And this is how it just kind of shows in real life. And so I just want to show you guys. My name is Laura from Shamanic Self, by the way. So I'm going to go through a conversation someone sent me about a month ago. Yeah, it was a month ago. I'm going to keep this person anonymous. Well, we're not going to mention their name, but if you just kind of go through the description that I'm going to provide, you probably know who it's going to be. Like I think I came across this person. How long ago was it? Back in 2018, 2019. Still seems like they have around the same amount of followership, by the way. So this person writes me a message out of the blue. I think they were even following my Facebook page. It's a message I received on Facebook. I don't really check those, but when I did check them, this entire ordeal was basically over already. So within a week, they had sent me all these messages. And then they're like, oh, now I'm unfollowing you. I'm like, okay, well, this shows perfectly why, just kind of seeing what you want to see is still not really getting you where you need to be. So this person starts off saying, hi, I'm not sure what your name is. Well, it's very clear in every video I mention it, right? Like, don't I mention it? Maybe not in the last few videos, but I have mentioned it in a lot of videos. My name is Laura. So I'm not sure what your name is. It's all over my website too, by the way. But I just wanted to thank you for your video. I just watched about Lisa Renee from Energy Synthesis. In this video, it was the first time I heard someone call out many of the disinformation operatives working with the Ascension and New Age fields. Now, you'll see why this entire Ascension and New Age field is so funny to me because the person uses exactly the same terminology in her teachings. I have firsthand experience of this as I've spoken at conferences alongside some of these people. I became friends with some of these figures, went to dinners, backstage parties, etc. And what I saw often shocked me. But this is the funny part. I never saw this person speak out against them, like ever. Only years later, through guidance from my ET team, was it revealed the true extent of disinformation, which spans across some of the most well-known names, even channelers such as Bashar. So first of all, you're mentioning an ET team, meaning you're not sovereign. You're still channeling. You're still relying on all these entities in your field who are most likely just effing with your own energy, like 100%. They're just messing with your energy. They're not really doing anything for you. And you still have to rely on them. You're not getting your own insight, is what you're saying. And then you're saying most well-known names, even channelers such as Bashar. I never liked Bashar. I haven't done a review on him yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I've just got to find a video that actually makes sense of him. But he's always creeped me out. Like, this is one person I've never cared for ever. This person has always been creepy from the start. They even look creepy and just very dishonest. And just because they have a name such as Cryon, which is also another disinformant agent, by the way, what doesn't mean, anything really. So this person obviously has respect of these people who I've never really cared for. Refreshing to see someone else who knows about it, as the majority of woke people I speak to have no clue about this, but you're not really woke either, honestly. Let's be honest here. You're talking to an ET team and you're talking about ascension on your own outlets. So no, sorry. I'm so happy you did something on Gigi Young too. Gigi Young is just plagiarizing one work after another. She's plagiarizing this one guy who speaks about New Age. She's been around for a super long time. She's not doing it. She's just plagiarizing Steiner and someone else. I forgot the name. She's not having anything. And she's like completely soulless. You see it in her eyes. So someone just left a comment. I'm still surprised when people leave comments randomly. But she just left something like, oh, pretty face, nothing behind, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's pretty much who she is. But I'm not even sure Gigi Young is a female. She might be a male. Not many people realize that these people invert their gender, which is exactly the point here. Like she's saying, Lisa Renee is a male to female. Yeah, someone else told me that. I don't have proof of that. I know there were some channels out there who really analyze every single thing. And I don't really have interest in exposing that because I feel maybe other people are better at it. For me personally, it's more about the message that these people give. And also considering that I feel there's this huge paranoia that everyone who's a woman on YouTube is a male or whatever. I feel it's just getting ridiculous, even to regular people who you know very clearly are female. And so for me personally, it's just not the path I want to be on. But I understand if that's your thing, definitely expose that. It seems Gigi Young is too. Yeah, I do think you can kind of see it in a few of her older works. You know, you can really see it in this one actress. There's a few actors who just published some things on their Instagram over the past few years. Some of them were in the TV show Friends. Another one was in this different TV show. It's all in the 90s, so they're probably born like in the 60s or 70s. And you can really see the Adam's apple in some of their teenage pictures, which I found very, very telling. Um, but then again, you know, there's this huge paranoia of, oh, even this normal woman who's never been a man, all of a sudden used to be a man, or like, okay, now it's just getting really ridiculous. As is Elizabeth April. I do believe that because in hers, you can also see something that resembles a man, but I'm not going to say she is, just like others are. Who I was friends with at one point, and some of her behavior towards me was very telling. The question to ask, I guess, is who isn't disinformation? And I'm just going to pop on this picture here and just read from the rest that this person wrote. It's a she, by the way. So who isn't disinformation? It's so prevalent, probably up to 80 to 90% of the community from what I've experienced. And then a few days after that, you know, after like just kind of vomiting all this crap into my Facebook inbox, which, you know, great. You know, this is why I don't even check it regularly because I don't voluntarily want to check it. You know, I don't want to open up to that energy of this person's obviously frustrated and venting. And then she kind of leaves another message, which is very telling for me. That's the only message she left where I was like, okay, we're going to try to figure out what this person's about because this person looks like a very confused being. She's like, oh, actually, I saw more videos and I don't agree with everything shared. That's okay. I'm pretty sure 90% of people who watch my videos don't agree with every single thing. For a fact, I know you don't agree with every single thing. That's not the point. The point is to open up to a discussion and to kind of open up to the ground of we can share our ideas and concepts. So you don't have to agree with everything. I don't agree with everyone on anything either, except for myself. But even with some of my older viewpoints, I don't agree with anymore. And that's just part of life, right? So this person goes on saying, ascension is a real process that is happening. And this is where I knew she's still stuck in the entire ascension trap because ascension is nothing. You know, what does ascension really do to you? Don't let people in the new age put you off. Oh, great. Now she's trying to put a condition on what I should and should not do. Some of what is shared is real, but it's mixed with disinformation. Now, my stuff is disinformation. You get the idea. Next thing you know, she's going to say, oh, there's an Adam's apple. She's a male. I saw it. I know it. Anyway, best wishes with everything. Smiley face. You know, I react to the smiley faces. People who just, you know, the emoji thing is overdone, in my opinion. So that was long and painful. And I go to her thing. And I remember this person clearly because back in the days when I was following all these fake New Agers or real New Agers who are misleading people, I remember very clearly this person was promoting someone like Elizabeth April in, was it December 2019? Some 2019 month where I think they were both promoting each other somehow. That was when I was still kind of following, seeing what they're about. But unlike Elizabeth April, who's now blown up supposedly to 200,000 followers on her Instagram and YouTube, which I'm going to guarantee 80% of that is bots, if not even more, as we all know. But unlike this one, she's not really blown up. So she's definitely somehow kept down. But however, she's still promoting all the New Age agenda. So in my opinion, there's no difference between you and Bashar or Elizabeth April, other than you being like this half awake, whatever. This person does speak Spanish. She is in a Spanish-based country. has some really, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to comment on her appearance or anything. Looks like she could be female. Obviously, they all look like that, right? Some people even fake their pregnancies though. And just look at all the like Elizabeth April and their pregnancy. You're like, ooh, was that a pillow somehow? You never know. But I don't want to make this video about her. I already have a video on her. And I was thinking about maybe doing another video just because I personally have this personal interaction with Elizabeth April where, it really ticked me off. And it was going for a few years. So, but you kind of do got to move. And that's what I feel, New Age reviews are great. And it's great to dig through them. And I definitely still have that list of people. But you also got to spread your own message. So with her in particular, what she really believes in is light body activation, elevating the vibrational frequency of one's physical and energetic body to resonate with higher dimensions. All right, it already says everything you need to know about this person. Yeah, it's just a general, clearing energetic blocks, releasing old patterns of limitation, blah, blah, blah. But what I notice with those type of things, people like to talk about them, but then there's never any action behind it. There's never like a really true workshop, or there's never really a way. They're not showing a real way. They're just saying, oh, you need to release this, you need to release it. Okay, how do I do that? They're not showing you how to do it. And then in addition, when you keep on trying to do this, similar to how, yes, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Yeah, great shadow work. How many years are you going to waste with that until you start noticing it doesn't get you anywhere really? And I'm not saying don't do it at all. We all feel drawn to different healing modalities for a reason at one point. But if you're getting lost in shadow work, I know this one person who makes her entire work all about shadow work. She even has like the term shadow work in her description or title or something. I'm just like, well, what else do you have to offer? Like that's it. What about the people who don't want to do shadow work anymore? Because we've kind of figured out it doesn't get you anywhere. It gets you somewhere in the beginning because it opens you up to all this childhood trauma that you've been experiencing. And it is important to dive through that and through any type of trauma that you've experienced, also past life trauma. But at one point, there's only so and so much you can really do. And then you need to do something right now for you, which is, yeah. So the shadow work is very limited. It was my point that I was trying to make. Okay, I'm just trying to go through her stuff right now. Oh, she also says she's a brand ambassador of Gaia, which that was the first thing where I was already like, oh, great. Someone who's bought up by Gaia. She has Cosmos in her description, which already says everything. Supposedly studied somewhere in London, but whatever. I mean, what does that even mean these days, does it? Kundalini connection to solar consciousness, Kundalini awakening to the solar energy. So I have a video on us having at least 3 different suns that we're dealing with right now. Which solar consciousness are you connecting to is my question, because that's kind of silly to me. Are you connecting to the first sun, the second sun, the third sun? They're all AI anyhow at this point, so it doesn't matter. And the Kundalini is something you probably want to remove, which I also talk about in the video, how I removed my own Kundalini and how I actually teach you how to remove your own Kundalini in my Be Your Own Shaman course if you're drawn to that. But I would definitely do it on your own. I wouldn't have another person remove that. Also to other things people promote, oh yeah, I can remove this and that from you, like these huge spiritual concepts. No, remove it yourself. Don't have anyone mess with your energy body in such a way. Solar humans and ascension. Okay, yeah. Solar humans, that's a special one. And then sometimes I feel like a mermaid. I don't know if it was on this channel or the old channel still, but at one point I had 3 videos on mermaids, how mermaids are AI, how mermaids and sirens, what the difference is between them, because there's obviously, different types of mermaids or mer creatures, how mermaids mislead you, misguide you, how there's nothing spiritual about them, and what the real myth behind mermaids is. So this person seeing herself as a mermaid already tells me a whole lot about her more than anything. Her thing seems to be the solar humans all of a sudden, which can't even follow that. I can't even take that serious just because I know, okay, so you're into the solar is sun, but you don't really know anything about the sun nowadays. The sun has changed immensely. One of the 3 suns has changed immensely over the past 30 plus years. Soul, sun, synchronicity. Yeah, I'll give you that. Soul and sun. Soul meaning also your soul, your spirit. Sure, yeah, there is a synchronicity, of course. Something with the war. Okay, great. Not gonna go into that. Um, I'm just gonna go through her work here because there was something on the vegan agenda. All right, solar humans can communicate with animals, the environment, the weather, and beyond. Well, can't you do that as a regular human too? Why do you have to be a solar human? You know, I communicate with my animal all the time. I am able to predict the weather, the environment, everything. I mean, if you're just attuned to the area you live in, or just in general, if you're just psychically attuned. So she's making all of it about that, which is pretty obnoxious to me. She's also promoting ayahuasca, which ayahuasca at this point is mixed with so many other drugs. You're not even getting the pure ayahuasca experience. And I have a video on ayahuasca and why you're supposed to stay away from that. I actually do want to make a workshop on plant medicine and how to use it the right way, but I'm not going to mention ayahuasca, and I can tell you that much. There's other things you can use if you wanted to, which I'm not going to promote, obviously. And oh yeah, the Christ consciousness that has to do with the sun consciousness. There's so much that goes into this. Like, okay, yeah, we all know that supposedly Christ was a son by one of the gods, so he's a sun god. So the jump to Christ conscious, I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? But okay, and then she's talking about intense vibrations, pulsation, and energy inside my ears due to the solar flare. So this is the funniest part ever because the solar flares are the technology the matrix controllers use to control your energy body, similar to the Schumann resonance, which it all ties into the same thing. But they're basically just using it so that they control you. And once you kind of empower yourself from that, or once you see through that, you're able to understand, why do I have migraines? Why do I feel dehydrated? Like literally, why do I feel zapped? Like the water out of my body has been zapped because of technology they're using. So solar flares and someone who believes in that is always a bit silly to me at this point, similar to people who still believe the Schumann resonance is something ETs came up with, when it's very clear that the matrix controllers are in full control of that, isn't it? Oh, and here's another one. I don't know if a meat eater who had light body or Merkaba activation as their experience. Well, here you go. The vegan agenda. Vegan agenda is all about starving the people to death for them to be so weak that they can't even function. I know vegans who stopped having their periods, by the way, who became infertile due to being on a vegan diet. Not all, but I also strongly believe that this entire vegan, vegetarian, meat eating thing has to do with your blood type too. So if you have a certain blood type, like, I have a mother, she's vegetarian and she's very much into vegetarianism. She is of a completely different blood type than I am. And so whenever she tried to push it onto me, it doesn't really work that way, because for me personally, I need a different diet. So I do think the blood type does have a little bit to do with it. But I also think it has to do with a few other things. And I do know for a fact that veganism has never been promoted in any culture really ever. Other maybe when you're a cow or a sheep who eats grass, but you're a human. So you're going to need something to sustain you. And other people, when this one person, like this one guy, he's an athlete, he's like, oh, I wish I could be vegan. I wish I could be vegan. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't even survive a day on a vegan agenda. And if you do, you wouldn't be an athlete anymore because you would be so weak. You just need a certain diet when you do those type of things. Galactic light codes, this is from January 10th. There's nothing really of substance. Like, here's a post. If you feel insecure or less around another when they shine, meaning the solar energy, it's time to dial up the volume on your shine. 3 suns. Hey, hey, hey. And then like this symbol and an alien symbol. And I'm just like, wow, this person really did not get it, did she? So, I mean, it's kind of cute that she tries to tie the fake solar flare and the fake AI suns into her life, but she obviously didn't understand anything. And I feel it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, okay, we all know if we're insecure, it doesn't necessarily just have to do with us, or I don't know, it doesn't really, that type of advice doesn't do anything. Veganism, cleansing, detoxifying, upgrading your physical vessel to generate a greater amount of light. Yeah, and to push away everything that you basically need to weaken your system, even your immune system, by the way. There's this one diet, if you have Lyme disease, there's one diet, meat-based diet, which will help you. There's so many books on that too. And I feel all these diseases, and then veganism comes around, which is going to weaken your immune system even more. It makes a lot of sense. When you do research on it, it makes a lot of sense. What do these two countries have in common? Lemurian technology and ancient sacred sites. Wow, mind-blowing. So still believing that Lemuria is something special as well. Everywhere. Lemuria was everywhere. And Lemuria was Australia. People in Africa say it was Lemuria. People somewhere in Florida say it's Lemuria. People in South America, people in Hawaii say it's Lemuria. It was everywhere, just like ancient Atlantis. If you're here, you were most likely around, unless you were created after as an AI, which is very likely for this person. The dark night of the soul and the solar illumination. This person's really milking the entire fake solar energy, which is a bit entertaining. But these are just some of the messages that I receive from New Agers who are still in the system, who are just kind of half awake, is what I like to call it. It's good to get that type of confirmation from this person, don't get me wrong, but I don't really care for that, because when you look at her stuff, she's still very much somewhere where she's not supposed to be. On the contrary, she's calling other people disinformation, and as entertaining as it is, I do draw a line and I do have my boundaries. So obviously I'm not going to reply to those messages, but I thought it would be eye-opening for some of you to see what happens in my own life on a daily basis somehow. Maybe you yourself know those type of people too. And if so, definitely share, comment, like, subscribe, and talk to you in the next video. Until then, bye guys.